Kay Faraday, the young lady who calls herself the second Yatagarasu. The piece of cloth that she conjured up has taken me back to many years ago.
Yeah, that's right. I did it. I killed the guy. But it was the great thief Yatagarasu that told me to do it!
Objection! I asked the defendant, just what exactly are you trying to say?
Don't you get it? I know the true identity of Yatagarasu! The Yatagarasu is the man standing over at the prosecutor's bench!
Are you saying that I'm the Yatagarasu?
Don't you dare deny it! You told me to kill him when you snuck into the embassy!
Are you claiming that Mr. Faraday's the Yatagarasu?
That's exactly
Objection! Mr. Rell, I think we've heard just about enough out of you.
Your Honor, please listen to me. I'm telling the truth! You gotta believe me!
In accordance with the defendant's accusation, a new prosecutor shall be called to replace Mr. Faraday. This court will be in recess until the new prosecutor is ready.
It's almost time for me to enter the courtroom. And so it is that my first assignment as a prosecutor will be as a replacement for a prosecutor who has been accused by the defendant.
Edgeworth!
Sir.
Have you read over all the documents regarding this trial?
Yes, sir. I've memorized everything there is to know.
Very good. The paperwork for the prosecutor's substitution is almost complete. Edgeworth, always bear in mind that as your mentor, I, Manfred von Karma, will accept nothing short of perfection!
I understand, sir. To have the chance to stand in court at such an early stage in my career, I am honored and proud.
As I have watched over your studies, I am giving you this very rare chance. Prove yourself. Crush the defendant's pathetic lies into oblivion.
Yes, sir! That such a legendary prosecutor is watching over and judging my performance. I have to be perfect in every way.
Today's trial should have ended in just 1 minute.
Because the defendant was picked up by the security camera, correct?
Exactly. The killer had the gall to say that he only killed because he was instructed to do so. Even more outrageous is his claim that the case prosecutor, Byrne Faraday, gave the order. Ha! Faraday is such a fool! He's been cornered by his very own prey.
Sir, are you an acquaintance of Mr. Byrne Faraday?
He is a pathetic man who speaks nothing but nonsense.
Nonsense?
He once tried to explain to me a way of punishing those who cannot be brought to court.
Those who cannot be brought to court? That is nonsense, for no man is above the law.
Well, there are always a few exceptions. However, there is no reason to even deal with such individuals. A prosecutor is a guardian of the court, one with no obligation to outside manners.
Thus, there is no reason to deal with such individuals. I see.
Edgeworth, disgracing yourself as Faraday has will not be forgiven.
Have no fear. I will not let you down, sir. In place of the accused prosecutor, Byrne Faraday, I'll prove the defendant's guilt.
Very good. I have secured an hour of recess for you to prepare to do just that. Show them all the power of Von Karma! So, have you achieved a firm understanding of the case?
Yes, sir. I have memorized everything that is written down in the case files.
Well then, explain the case to me. I want to see if you really know what you are talking about.
Understood. A murder was committed on September 8th in front of the Cadopian embassy. The victim, Mr. Dead Man, was a staff member at the embassy. The defendant in this case, Mr. Mack Rell, was held for questioning the night of the incident as he was deemed suspicious. He was quickly placed under arrest for possession of the murder weapon, a gun. Furthermore, at the time of the murder, the great thief Yatagarasu had successfully infiltrated the Cadopian embassy as well. At first, Rell claimed that he himself was the Yatagarasu, but that he did not kill Dead Man. I wonder what he expected to gain from such a desperate lie.
It's possible that he wants to go down while in the spotlight, if he is found guilty. There truly is no limit to people's insanity. But I digress. Continue, Edgeworth.
Yes, sir. During the trial, the prosecution presented the security footage that captured the murder. The footage clearly showed Mr. Rell as the murderer.
The act of Mr. Rell firing the gun could be clearly seen from the visitors' gallery.
Upon seeing that, the defendant retracted his statement and admitted to the murder. I did it because I was told to. By the real Yatagarasu, Byrne Faraday.
That sounds about right. However, you've forgotten one thing. While this may appear to simply be the murder of a Cadopian embassy staff member, people are actually referring to it as the second KG-8 incident.
The second KG-8 incident? I'm very sorry, sir. I fear I failed to study hard enough.
Well, even among the police, it's information that only a select few are privy to.
Could you please enlighten me, sir? Sir, what do you mean by the second KG-8 incident?
In order for me to tell you that, you must first learn about the original case. Take a look at these documents.
This is a 3-year-old newspaper.
You have heard of the Amano Group scandal before, correct?
Yes, I have. The secretary of Ernest Amano, the Amano Group's director, was arrested. Under suspicion of smuggling.
Correct. Jessie Cook was an employee of the Amano Group, and the sole witness to the smuggling operation. It was she who brought the crime to light. However, she was silenced before she could testify in court.
Wasn't a Cadopian embassy staff member arrested for the murder?
Yes, a Cadopian by the name of Manny Coachen was the suspect. However, due to lack of evidence, the case went unresolved.
Lack of evidence?
Ha! If only I was in charge of the case. I would have done everything in my power to prove his guilt.
To make sure that all criminals are found guilty. My mentor really is dedicated.
Faraday was the prosecutor of the case then, and he was pathetic as ever.
Mr. Faraday was in charge of the KG-8 incident as well?
That's right. And now, once again, the victim of the case you are currently assigned to was someone who was scheduled to testify against that smuggling operation.
And just like last time, the victim was murdered right before he was to testify.
You're catching on. The victim was murdered just before his day in court against this smuggling organization. Events are occurring in almost exactly the same way as they did in the KG-8 incident.
So that's why it is being called the second KG-8 incident?
Yes. Yet there is one difference between the two incidents.
What would that be?
The so-called noble thief that is sending everyone into an uproar. The great thief, Yatagarasu.
Yatagarasu? I'd better find out more. If it is true that the Yatagarasu showed up at the Cadopian embassy, what could he or she have been after?
No doubt to steal any suspicious accounting records and release them publicly. Or more likely, to steal secrets from the Cadopian embassy itself. Since the items that the Yatagarasu stole from there were sent to the police.
What was it that the Yatagarasu sent to the police?
I don't know the details. Anything related to the Yatagarasu is getting the top secret treatment. Still, I find it very ironic. By returning the stolen item to the police, it was proof positive that the Yatagarasu had infiltrated the embassy on the same day the staff member was killed. Criminals have a way of incriminating themselves, wouldn't you say?
That would have to be the first time the Yatagarasu has left evidence behind, correct?
Yes, indeed. If you want to know more about the Yatagarasu, then I suggest you ask Faraday.
Mr. Faraday?
He happens to be the prosecutor in charge of the Yatagarasu case as well.
He's the prosecutor in charge of both the KG-8 incident and the Yatagarasu case? Mr. Faraday really has a lot on his plate.
What is it, little girl?
You're scary, mister.
Did you need something?
I want to trade these coins with you.
A fistful of dimes, quarters, and pennies. But it looks like you've exactly $1. Is this what you want?
Thanks! That's exactly what I needed. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy!
Could that child be here to watch the trial?
How disrespectful for a child like that to be running around inside the courthouse! Does no one have respect for this country's judicial system anymore?
The paperwork for prosecutor's substitution is complete!
Do you even know how much time there is left before the trial resumes?
Sí, lo siento, señor!
I can have you mopping up this courthouse instead of protecting it in an instant!
It's no bother, sir. Not being completely prepared could prove to be a perfect handicap for me.
A proud one you are. You had better collect the evidence from Faraday and prepare yourself. It's time for your debut, Edgeworth. Just what is going on? Why isn't Faraday here yet? How is it possible that the defense is not prepared yet either?
Bailiff, where is Mr. Faraday?
I'm not sure. I wasn't really paying attention.
Ah, you must be the one Mr. Von Karma recommended. I I hear this will be your first trial. I look forward to seeing how you perform. Oh, by the way, was there someone celebrating a birthday during the recess? I could have sworn that I heard a popper going off. Come to think of it, the other day with my grandson...
Sir, it looks like the trial is about to resume. However...
Yes, it will be all but impossible to prove the witness a liar without the evidence from Faraday. What is that blasted buffoon up to?
It's an emergency, sirs!
Silence!
There shall be no yelling in this sacred hall of law. Bailiff, remove that man from this courtroom at once.
What? No, hang on! Please! Wait! You have to listen to me! There's an emergency! Defendant lobby number 2! Mr. Faraday and the defendant! The two of them! They're both dead, Your Honor!
What? What?
Stay back! No one's allowed in the crime scene. Period.
Just who does this oddball think he is?
This is becoming quite the hotspot.
Isn't she Mr. Rell's defense attorney?
Hey, you! No running in the hallway, pal! That's against the law!
And who are you to tell me what to do? I'll never find out what's going on like this. It's time for some civil discourse. Let's start with Tall, Dark, and Khaki over here. And you are?
Who, me? Hey, pal. It's common courtesy to tell someone your name first before asking theirs.
Point taken. My name is Miles Edgeworth. I'm a district prosecutor.
A prosecutor? I never seen a prosecutor as young as you, pal.
I've told you my name. Now would you mind telling me yours?
How nice of you to ask. Detective Dick Gumshoe. And just recently I achieved my dream of becoming a detective. It's more than a dream. I was born to do this. Wait, maybe I should check and make sure I'm not really in some crazy dream first.
This detective is entirely too excited to be at a murder scene. So, Detective Gumshoe, would you mind telling me what you know about the incident?
You know I don't have to tell you anything, right?
I know that. But it would behoove you to fill me in on what you know.
Wow, you're a proud one for such a youngster, aren't you? Well, anyway, Detective Bad is the one in charge. So you're just gonna have to ask him for all the details, okay? As for me, I was guarding the door to defendant lobby number 2.
So you were the guard detail. Did you notice anything strange while you were on duty?
Well, I freaked out when I heard a gunshot, and then I kind of froze.
You're a detective and a measly gunshot scared you that much? Then again, I can hardly claim to not know what it's like to hear one at close range.
Then, Detective Bad came running back to the scene. We went into lobby number 2 together, and both men were lying there, dead.
Is that everything?
Let me see, yeah, that's it. I was in the hallway the whole time, but I didn't hear a single peep of a struggle.
Interesting. Other than the gunshot, he didn't hear a single sound of commotion.
I got this weird hunch that you and I are gonna be great friends one day.
Excuse me, but who are you?
Detective Tyrell Bad. Homicide.
I was informed of the situation and came as quickly as possible. So how did you arrive and inspect the body before me?
Faraday requested for me to testify in the trial. Plain and simple.
Mr. Faraday requested that you be here?
I've already contacted HQ about the situation. I've got nothing to say to you, kid.
Kid? I'm Mr. Faraday's substitute in today's trial. Therefore, I insist that you update me on the situation. I can't back down here. I have a right to know.
Do I need to teach you a thing or two about how to talk to adults, kid?
Is he threatening me? Is he going for his gun? It's just a mirror. How dare he trick me like that?
Faraday was stabbed to death with some kind of blade, and he had a gun in his hand. The other man, Mr. Mack Rell, was shot and killed. He was found holding a bloody knife in this hand.
Was there anyone else who went into defendant lobby number 2?
Yeah, that big lug over there. His name's Gumshoe. He was in charge of guarding the place. He's claiming that no one else entered the room.
If that's the case, then they must have killed each other, correct?
Maybe.
Such impudence! This guy is really testing my patience. Why was I not informed that you were going to testify in court?
Homicides aren't my only gig. The Yatagarasu case is also one of my assignments.
Huh. So you were called upon to comment on the Yatagarasu's characteristics. In order to assess if Mr. Faraday really was the Yatagarasu or not.
Well, well. Looks like you just might have a brain after all in that head of yours, son.
Son? I'm not your son, Pops. I wonder if there's anything I could show him that won't result in a condescending answer. Detective Band, I'd like to ask you about this piece of evidence. Could you please pay attention?
I'm listening, but I've got nothing to say. End of story.
Very well. Why didn't you say that in the first place? Well, it certainly wasn't condescending. And now more of the same.
Does showing that off make you feel like a big, strong prosecutor?
Of course not. I was simply proving my title of prosecutor to you.
I see. But most prosecutors don't go around flaunting those things. It's like a detective walking around outside with his badge flashing in the sunlight. Show that off too much, and before you know it, you'll be elbow deep in angry criminals.
That would definitely be a problem. And I definitely don't like this guy. Do you have a minute?
You know, I'm not really into talking to people I don't know. Especially at a time like this.
Ah, I apologize for not introducing myself before bothering you. My name is Miles Edgeworth. I was to take Mr. Faraday's place in court.
Edgeworth, huh? Never heard of you. So Faraday's substitute is a newbie, huh?
I'll have you know, madam, that I studied under Manfred von Kama. Do not take me for some naive novice!
Do not take me for some naive novice! So you're a student of Von Those clothes are a dead giveaway, and that's good one.
Stop right there! These are the garments of one who gallantly presents the facts!
Thanks for the great laugh, but try not to make me laugh so much, okay?
I wasn't trying to do anything of the sort!
Just kidding! I was just goofing around. By the way, you know who I am? My name is Calisto Yew. And if you're telling the truth, then we're about to go head-to-head in court.
Ah, but of course. I have heard much about you, Miss Yew.
Ah, but of course, I have heard much about you. You're a regular Shakespeare. Oh, get that cravat out of your
Did
ass.
I say something funny?
Oh, what do you want?
I'd like you to update me on the situation.
I don't really know anything. Why don't you try talking to those detectives over there?
If that's the case, then why are you here? What's so funny?
It's just the way you speak is so tactless. Oh, are you for real? The person I was going against in court until only a little while ago was just murdered. It's not like I could go back into the courtroom pretending as though nothing happened.
That's a good point.
Of course it is.
I apologize for asking such an insensitive question.
It's fine. Don't worry about it.
Señorita! There is someone here who wishes to see you!
Who is it?
A Cadopian Embassy staff member by the name of Manny Coachen!
What's going on? Detective Bad and Miss Yew's moods just changed all of a sudden. Wait a second. Wasn't Manny Coachen?
I'll be right there.
This way, señorita!
It's nice to see you again, Miss Yew.
Why are you here? I have no desire to ever see you again.
No. Actually, would you mind stepping outside for a brief chat?
Fine. Let's go.
Bad.
Von Karma. It's been a long time.
I knew you would show up. You usually do when the Yatagarasu is involved, and I see this case is no exception.
Do you know Detective Bad, sir?
Yes, he's like an old bloodhound that never leaves the scene of a crime. If only he would get a promotion and move on.
It's the crime scene where a detective is most useful and effective.
It's not like I didn't know that. Moving on though, Bad. The man that I just passed by. Was he not the suspect from the KG-8 incident?
So I was right.
Just what is that man doing wandering around here? That Faraday. I can't believe he let such an easy catch get away. Imbecile! I would have proven his guilt in 3 minutes.
Von Karma, I think you've said enough for now. It's in poor taste to speak like that about the departed.
Very well. Back on topic. I'm placing Edgeworth in charge of the investigation here.
Objection! Papa, how can you place him in charge?
Franzisca, what are you doing here?
I'm here for some vacation. What else?
Franzisca von Karma. So she is here on vacation from Germany. She is the daughter of Manfred von Karma and a student of his who's also junior to me.
You're the one who's junior to me, and don't you forget it!
You're not conveniently avoiding the bar examination, are you?
If you were able to pass, then I'll have absolutely no problem at all. I'll never allow myself to lose to you. Never!
Why does she always have to be this competitive?
Anyway, Papa, are you really assigning Miles Edgeworth to cover this case?
Yes, I am. Why do you ask?
Well, you know, I'm close to becoming a prosecutor myself. And I am 100% confident that I can do a better job than him.
That's just like Franzisca. She has no problem bad-mouthing someone right in front of them.
Bad.
Yeah?
These two will be conducting the investigation.
What? You want me to let both of these kids loose on the crime scene?
Ha! This is a perfect opportunity for them to work on their prosecutorial skills.
A crime scene is not a place for children to be messing around in.
I'm the one with the authority over this crime scene, Bad, and I will not tolerate complaining. Edgeworth, Franzisca, I leave this case to the two of you.
Understood, sir.
Yes, Papa.
I'll go take care of the paperwork now. Remember, I'll accept nothing but a perfect report from the both of you. Do not disappoint me.
Hold up, Von Karma! I still haven't agreed to this!
Miles Edgeworth.
It's been quite some time, Franzisca.
This will be the perfect chance for us to see which of us is truly worthy of the Von Karma name.
Objection! Objection! Hold it! Hold it! Eureka! Take that! Take that!
Let's go! Project!